turn my view back to the other one here. Make sure my masking is on both sides. I'm going to go to Polygroups, Group Visible. Now I'm going to group from masking. So when I polygroup from masking, what you'll see is I'll get a polygroup based on all the masked areas. It's a pretty dense mesh right now, so it's going to take a minute for it to think about creating that polygroup. So now if I go into frame mode, you'll see we've got a polygroup. Let's zoom in so this is a little bit more clear. There's a polygroup based on where the masking was. So everything that's masked has got a different polygroup assignment than everything that was unmasked. Okay. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to go to the Geometry menu. There's an option here called Group Loops. Now you'll notice that there's a Polish option here. If I control click on this, it'll show you that the open circle will maintain the overall form. A closed circle is going to smooth out the tool without maintaining the volume. So I want to keep the surface open, and I actually try and dial down this polish a bit. We can leave loops, bring loops down to, actually no, 4 would be good. We'll leave the groups at 4 for right now. Now with group loops, what I want to do is I want to make sure that I don't lose any of my hard edges here. I want to cut an edge loop around this masked area, but I don't want to lose all the nice polishing and stuff that I've done. Now group loops is also going to wipe out any subdivision levels that I've got. So I can't have multiple subdivision levels with my group loops. See, if I click it, it says that I can't have multiple subdivision levels, so I need to delete lower. If I step down a subdivision level, my mask and my polygroup, as a result, is going to get all nasty. So I'm going to step up. I can clear the mask now and click Group Loops. Oops, delete lower and click Group Loops. ZBrush says it's processing the edge loops now, so it's cutting those edge loops. Here you can see the edge loop has been cut. We zoom in, you can see there's the polygroup and the edge loops cut around the polygroup. So what I'm done now is, or what I'm going to do is, I'm going to select that central polygroup. I'm going to go to Visibility under the Tool menu and click Grow a couple times to grow that selection out into a couple of those other edge loops. Control-click to mask all. Control-Shift-click on the background to show all, and then Control-click to invert the mask. And I can turn off frame mode now with Shift-F if I don't want to look at those polygroups anymore. Now under the Deformation menu, I'm going to go here to Inflate, and I'm going to inflate this selection out pretty far because I'm going to use the trim brushes to actually bevel this down. Or the clipping brushes, excuse me. I'm going to use the clip curve. And you can see the first thing I want to do is I want to create this top bevel right here. So I will Control-Shift, click and drag. And that gives me that first bevel. Unfortunately, it created a bit of a problem there, so I'm going to undo and see what happened here. It looks like I've caught a little bit of extra area right here in the front in my polygroup that I didn't intend on catching. So I'm going to actually go to a front view here, go into frame mode, and you can see I've actually got some polygroup there that I don't want. So I'll just use the control. Let's use a masking marquee, use the mask rectangle. Now just Control-click and mask that area out. Here you can see that that little bit of polygroup is right there, so I'm going to go to my selection rectangle and I'm going to hide those faces. There we go. Invert visibility, hide that as well. There we go. Now, to make it easier to be able to see, or to always grab this piece, unfortunately it's come back. Undo. There we go. I'm going to polygroup again, just this area. So I go to polygroups, group visible. That way I've got a new polygroup for this piece here, and I'm not going to end up accidentally selecting it, or accidentally selecting that central piece there that's connecting between the two. I'm going to turn off frame mode, grow my selection, mask it, invert the mask, go to deformation, and we will inflate. And it's still catching that little bit right there. I've got a bit of extra that I don't want. So let me isolate that, zoom in, and see what's happening here. I'm going to go down to display properties and turn on double-sided so it's easier to actually see what's happening here. And it looks like just where it's curving under, it's kind of doing something funky. So what I'll do here, I'll mask everything but the area that I want to work on. Invert the mask, and here you can see if I zoom right in, it's this little piece right here. Now I'm just going to mask that. Go to the masking pen. Okay. Now I can try using the deformation inflate slider again. See if that works better for us. And that gives us a better result now. So I'm going to inflate this out a bit. And now looking down the barrel, I'll go to the clip curve, and I'll slice that panel.